Former inmate reaches $2.5 million settlement with Boulder County over jail treatment. Let's get into it. A former inmate has now settled a federal lawsuit for more than $2.5 million. Ryan Partridge had been homeless and was arrested after an altercation with another homeless person. They called it like a minor assault back in 2016. Partridge had been diagnosed with schizophrenia and believed the CIA told him to take out his eyeballs. Okay, schizophrenia is like when you start, in layman's terms, pretty much when you're hearing voices and people telling you to do things in your head. Okay. He is now permanently blind. So when he was locked up in this county jail, he actually gouged out his eyes, and then now he's completely blind. All right. At the time the lawsuit was filed, he told CBS News Colorado he had been placed in a jail cell alone. I don't like solitary. I don't think this would have happened had I not been in solitary, he said. Joel Pell was Boulder County sheriff at the time. Now, he said that they were not equipped to force inmates to take their medication when they refuse. So Partridge refused to take his medication for schizophrenia and whatever else that he had. And then they're like, well, at that time, we couldn't force you to do that. So, if you don't want to help yourself, not much that I can do. That's what he's saying. All right. Let's continue. He added that they did their best to assist prisoners diagnosed as mentally ill. Earlier, a settlement of $325,000 was reached for guards repeatedly using excessive force on Partridge, part of the $2.5 million total. A video from the jail shows personnel trying to subdue Partridge while he was naked. The inmate jumped off an elevated walkway on the second floor of his housing unit. The settlement agreement says the jail failed to treat, examine, or care for the plaintiff's condition and send him for treatment. The only thing they did to Ryan Partridge when he acted out in a psychotic state was to tase him and beat him and put him back into his cell. Lane said, our goal is to send a message to the jailers and prison officials nationwide when they are deliberately indifferent on the serious medical needs of inmates, and it is going to cost them dearly. This was his lawyer that was saying that. Lane said his client was tased while restrained in a chair on one occasion. Pell says 30% of his prisoners are diagnosed as mentally ill and should often be housed elsewhere. We're trying to treat them and stabilize them and keep them from self-harm before they can get to a hospital, he said. Partridge is permanently blind. His mother, Shelley, realizes he faces a great challenge, but says he's very brave. Now, that's a lot. Okay. Now, I got a few questions about all of this. Well, one, they said that he was homeless when this encounter took place. Okay, and now the mom was taking care of him. So I'm assuming she's going to get some kind of disability assistance where she helps, obviously, a disabled person because he's legally blind now. So I'm assuming she's going to be getting that. It seems like she's also going to be getting this $2.5 million. Okay, because, let's just keep it real. When people have disabilities, you have a lot of people who take advantage. Any way, shape, or form that they could find to take advantage of somebody, they end up doing. So, because that's what I was wondering. I'm like, okay, well, if the guy was homeless and mentally ill, which we'll get into that, but if he was homeless, well, why couldn't he go to his mama? I'm not saying like, parents have to, whatever, but I'm just curious. Well, why couldn't he go to his mom then? But now she's open, welcome to my home, come back home, baby. Oh, I missed you. But it was like, yeah, but why wasn't he allowed to be there before? Now you got some money now. Okay, so I thought that was pretty interesting. Also, I'm curious about how long has he been mentally ill? Was this something that he had when he was a kid that just went undiagnosed? Or it couldn't have gone undiagnosed, but I'm thinking something he had as a kid that just was not supervised, or did it happen sometime later in his adulthood? I know schizophrenia it's DID, dissociative identity disorder. That happens, I think, when you're around like 15 to 25 or something like that. So, okay, I guess, like I said, I was also wondering how long was he homeless for, because, if it was like one of those things, it was like, okay, 18 years old, get out of my house. And then now you're saying, oh, you can come back in. It's kind of suspect. And also, one of the bigger things in this whole thing, why was this man not put into a sane asylum or slash mental institution? Why was he not put into one of these things? Why was he put with everybody else? I mean, it's not like you just have like depression. You know what I mean? That's not going to put you in the mental health institution, but you have schizophrenia. You know what I mean? So it's like, I mean, that's pretty serious. Like I said earlier, he said that the CIA told him in his mind to gouge out his eyes. So I'm like this. I'm like, well, why was he here? Why was he not? So then it makes me wonder, was this a failed thing with maybe the judge or whatever? Because I can't see you hiding schizophrenia like that. You know what I mean? Especially if you're going to be going to jail. I just don't see that happening. And then the guy, the sheriff, at the time or whatever, he was saying like, oh, well, we can't just, we can't force them to go and take their stuff. And I'm like, okay, but that he's mental. It's not like he got maybe a little bipolar. I mean, he's schizophrenic. Don't y'all think he shouldn't have, like, I don't know, been near everybody else? Because he's not in his right mind. It's one thing with these other guys. A lot of them are already in their right mind and they just decided to do the wrong thing. But with him, he's not in his right mind. Why would you not put him in a institution to where he can actually get some real help? And then obviously it goes into the whole police brutality, excessive force that's been going on. So I also wondered, was this one of those things where you were like, yeah, I mean, we got to do what we got to do or whatever. But then you're kind of like, maybe we can mess with him a little bit. You're restraining him while he's naked, but some of that, I'm like, I could kind of see that if you're in a manic episode, you know what I mean? And you're just like, you're not complying, you're not wanting to do anything. And it's like, okay, well, you took off all your clothes. I mean, what will you expect me to do? Now, the excessive force, I understand, like, okay, yeah, they shouldn't be doing that at all. But some of this other stuff, I'm like, I don't know, yo. I'm kind of just like, I don't know about that. Now he's legally blind. He has 2.5 mil. I always wonder if that stuff is taxed. It wouldn't make any sense for it to be taxed, because doesn't it come from like taxpayer dollars and stuff like that, but I just thought that was pretty interesting, that he ended up getting, this huge gigantic settlement, and why he was not just put into an institution. Because I went on like Boulder County's website and whatnot, and I was looking like, okay, so let's say I get convicted of X crime, but I'm schizophrenic or I got some serious mental health issue. What happens? Do I just, and they're like, oh, we have counselors, we have this, we have that. But it just seemed like it was a broad, like, yeah, we have this, we have that, we have that, And it's like, yeah, but can I get a little bit, I don't know, maybe I wasn't looking in the right place, but I was looking at a .gov, the Boulder County, the jail stuff and everything. So I don't know where this information could have been, but I mean, this dude, he got his money, and will there be a reform? I don't know. Hey, I greatly appreciate if you could support me. Simply go to ebay.com. In the search bar, type in Latrice Limited, click on shops, and then support me. I have a wide variety of items on there, many of my own personal Latrice Limited items, such as candles, bath bomb soaps, essential oil blends, lingerie robes, so much stuff. I even have men's ties and comic books on there. Definitely support me, and do not forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.